Super hot peppers, day 140. So, we have some changes here. Good news and bad news. I don't know if you guys saw the last video. I'll post a link to it for some of the bad news so you get an example of what happened, but you'll see the aftermath here as well. So let me just give a quick rundown. Right here we have the peach habanero. Next to it, and this is one of the new good additions, I've got a black pearl. I wanted to grow that out and see what was up with that. I've seen other ones growing, and we had some growing in the back at work, so I wanted to have at least one with my pepper collection here. Behind that is the Scotch Bonnet, and you can see this thing's starting to load up with peppers, like pretty nice sized ones too. The next one is the Butch tea, and that thing's actually getting pretty good sized peppers too. These four are the Trinidad Moruga scorpions. Try to get a full view of you. These are probably about 6 feet tall now. These next ones over, which are a little bit shorter than most of the rest of the varieties, and some of them just got a rough start. These are yellow Morugas. At least that's what the seed package said that I got from a friend, and I don't think that's what they are. So stay tuned in the video. Maybe you can help me identify this pepper. It definitely looks a little odd. These next 6 here are chocolate habanero. Still no color on these, but they definitely look significantly different in size from the peach habanero, so I was kind of curious about that too. Then over here, last but not least, we have the chombos, and those plants are probably somewhere between 6 feet and 7 feet tall. They're just massive. So I don't know if you noticed, but it looks like there's a gap in here, and if you saw my previous video, you know exactly what I'm going to say here. But let me get over here for a closer look. I actually had that pepper plant right there in the back. It literally split in half right down the middle. I've since talked to a couple other growers, and they told me that maybe what I could have done is just taped up the plant and it would have continued growing normally, which I guess I should have checked around before I just cut it flat out. But I ended up losing, or I shouldn't say losing, but I had to pick early 228 pods. So it's no surprise to me that that plant had that happen, just because it was so top heavy. And I'll throw up a link that should be on your screen sometime now that'll take you to the other video so you could see what it looked like as I discovered it. So I guess this is me trialing a low cut to see what will happen as far as pruning this bush. I know I didn't totally prune it. It's got some taller growth on it, but I'll get closer so you can see what's left of it. Now I want to give you a closer up with the peppers, because I think I need some of your guys' help on these things. So let's check. Okay, to start off the up close on the peppers here, I may have some peppers that are either misidentified or they have crossed somewhere along the way. And here's what I'm thinking and my reasoning for this. So this peach habanero here, it looks significantly different. It's growing different than the chocolate habanero. And I've noticed that almost all the peppers are what I would call miniature in size. This is probably about the size of the second largest pepper that I found on the bush. And you could see that, you know, it's about the size of 2 of my fingers here together. The largest pepper on this plant is actually hidden away over here. And that is about the size of a $50, you know, maybe 3 fingers wide. What I was curious about here, and maybe this is a sign of things to come, but these peppers are still a very light green. They kind of almost look peach on this video, but they're still more of a, almost like a fresh tomato green. What color should these start to be? I'll flash an image of this one that's starting to turn, and I'm wondering if this is what I should expect to see. So I'll throw an image up for you so you guys can check that out. So this one's a new addition to the group, but I might as well give you a rundown on this one anyways. It's the Black Pearl, and they've actually been growing these in the back. You can see the little black peppers here. There's a couple more up here if I can get a better view of that. And apparently these ripen to a nice red color. You also see that the flowers on these things are real nice purple. So that's kind of a cool thing as well. I don't know how a cross would work, but I think this would be an interesting plant to try to cross with, you know, something else. It's an ornamental, so I don't know how the taste would come out if you did cross it, but you definitely could totally switch up the color on something by crossing it with this, I'd imagine. I don't really have any plans to cross anything other than probably what's already happened by accident, so no plans, but I wanted to grow this to see if I could get it to take off and maybe get some seeds out of it, because I know this one hasn't done anything other than self-pollinate itself. So it just started to rain here. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. If you've never been inside a greenhouse while it started to rain heavy, you can tell how loud it gets, and it's kind of interesting, especially when it starts to downpour. So hopefully you could still hear this and you're not missing out on too much. If it gets too heavy, I'll have to stop the video, but here we go. This is the Trinidad Moruga Scorpion, and I think this one is a pure seed. I don't think there was any cross-pollination. I can kind of scan some of these other ones so you can get a feel for how they look. And they look kind of normal to me, or they are very comparable to other Moruga scorpions. So I think this plant, I'm alright. I don't think it's misidentified, but all you chili heads out there, let me know. You think this is a cross with something, or you think this is a pure Trinidad Moruga scorpion? Let me know in the comments. Any help is appreciated. Alright, so one more quick clip on this bad boy before I move on. It's been on the plant a while now, and it's actually been ripe for over a week. I'm pretty sure that the chances of this particular pod being pollinated by any other plant here was pretty rare. So I'm actually going to pick this pod off, and I'll eventually eat it, but I'm going to de-seed it first, so I can get some seeds from this plant. So, I guess let me reach in here. And there it is. If everything is labeled right here, this should be the Trinidad Moruga Scorpion. I don't know if I dare to eat it. What do you guys think? Should I do it? Should I trick one of my friends into eating it? I don't know. Let me know. So here is my next concern, and hopefully you guys can help me out on this. This plant is supposed to be a yellow Moruga. Clearly to me this doesn't look anything like a Moruga. I'm not seeing any of the wrinkles like a lot of the other Morugas I see. Not to mention this plant has ripened to a red color. And assuming that, you know, the yellow comes first, which I believe it would, it just looks like these peppers are it was some sort of open pollination cross, perhaps. I haven't narrowed down exactly what it is, but what do you guys think? I'll kind of scroll up to some of these non-ripe pods here so you can get an idea. I mean, they kind of got the shape of, you know, maybe a scorpion or something like that, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I really need help on this one in particular. I'm sure you guys have lots of good feedback and comments. Moving right along, and sorry for the shift here, it's kind of blurry on the way. How about these chocolate habaneros? I don't see any color on any of the... Let me focus here. I don't see any color on any of these chocolates yet. They seem to be a darker green than some of the other peppers, but I don't think that that's necessarily a sign of anything. What do you guys think? Do you think these are actually chocolate habaneros as well? they look more in size like a habanero, like you would expect a habanero to be. So I'll take a couple of actual pictures so you get a glance, but I want to know what you think on these too. And now, the largest for last. These are the ahi chombos, and these plants are loaded and very ripe. In fact, after this video, I'm going to take off a whole bunch of the fully ripe pods and take them home with me. But I'll just give you a scan. Since I've asked on all the other ones, do you think this one is an ahi chombo? From what I've compared it to with the images online, I believe so. It seems a little, some of them are a little large, but you know, some of these other ones are about the size that it looked like they were online. This plant is loaded with these pods. Like, it is just loaded. Like I said, the one back here, and I'll get a closer up of this one, it's split right down the middle, so I had to prune it. And it had 228 pods on the branches that came off of this one node that broke off. I saved some of these other ones and didn't prune all these slightly taller ones. So there's about, you know, maybe 20 pods left on the plant and a whole bunch more flowers that look like they're starting to take off. I also, when this plant fell, it managed to damage this plant. And instead of just chopping off the branch, I just put it back upright and connected it with this twist tie here. It seems to be holding up okay. And I think it's gonna live. None of the leaves really wilted, so I think it'll be good. And look at all these peppers. I need to harvest big time. I don't want to have too many red ones around here, or else I'm going to be very overwhelmed all at once. I've kind of been giving these out like 2 or 3 peppers at a time to whoever's willing to take them. I did try half of one of these the other day, and it was very, very hot. It was kind of my prep into if I was going to eat a whole one on camera for you. I really don't like to be on camera, to be honest, so I'm a bit nervous of that, but you know, I'm growing these and I've already tried one, so I'll probably end up doing something if I can't convince any of my friends to eat them on camera. The heat level of this, it's been a while since I've had a habanero, but I would say it was slightly above a habanero, maybe similar to right around there. I'll take a couple of nice pictures of this too. There's some really cool looking pods that are half in transition. I want to scroll over here though to the same plant variety, and I found this kind of weird. This one ahi right here, none of the peppers are ripe on it yet. They were all started at the same time. They all seem to be getting about the same amount of sun. Sorry, these are really blurry because I've got it zoomed in here. But no color on this one plant. Every other plant here of the ahi seems to be doing its color transition, but not this one. But if you look at the size of some of these peppers, I mean, they're quite large. And if you go over to this one, here's a plant that actually does have color. I mean, there's getting to be some really big pods on this plant. So, if any of you guys have links to any videos about hot sauce making, salsa making, or anything like that, I'd love to see them. I'm definitely going to have to do something with all these peppers. I'm going to donate some of them, I think, but I want to do something interesting with them. If you enjoy my super hot pepper videos, make sure to like them by giving them the thumbs up and share them with your friends. Comment. I love the comments, and especially this video. I've asked a million questions of you chili heads out there, so help me out. Tell me what you know. Share your knowledge. I want to know as much as I can, and I'm sure already a few of you have mentioned in forums and whatnot that some of my varieties may be misidentified, so I want to get to the bottom of it and see if I can figure out what actually happened. Other than that, if you want to subscribe, just click the pepper, and it'll subscribe you to my channel, and then you can get all future video updates. Plus, you can go there to check out the other video series I've got going on right now, which is I'm calling it Season 2. And I'll throw a link to that up on the screen real quick here too, so you can just jump over there if you want to. Until next time, happy growing, you guys.